Hi, everyone. I'm Rick Barron, your host, and welcome to my podcast, That's Life, I Swear. So, in case you missed it, Donald Trump is officially the first former U.S. president ever to be indicted. Now, supporters say the hush money charge is weak, and Trump will triumph, as always. Hold that thought. This indictment is but a dress rehearsal for what's to come. Let's jump into this. Not too long after being indicted, booked, and fingerprinted, Donald Trump boarded his Trump Force One plane to head home to a safe place, Mar-a-Lago, to stage a "Oh, woe is me" event. Now, being the marketeer that Trump is, he took his indictment as a bounce for his presidential run in 2024. Now, in his eyes, he will leverage the indictment as a campaign banner for him and his followers as being persecuted and victims of the liberal elite. Now, his suckers continue to follow him with Save the Dawn Fund by dropping $8 million in new contributions within days of the indictment. I swear, Trump's base is a gift that keeps giving. Now, Trump may want to boast that the indictment against him is weak, but he may want to look over his shoulder. In addition to his criminal charges in New York, the former president is facing several other criminal investigations, and I don't see these as being weak. Let's go over them. 1. His attempts to overturn election results in Georgia. His efforts to hold on to power in Washington after losing re-election. And his handling of classified documents at his home in South Florida. Yes, Donald, you've been a very bad boy. Now, why does this matter? The indictment could impact the Republican Party's reputation and standing among voters. If a former president from the same party is indicted, it could lead voters to question the judgment and values of the party as a whole. It could happen. It could further divide the party between those who support Trump and those who do not, potentially leading to an even deeper split in the party, not to mention the country. Now let's talk about this weak indictment. When Trump's indictment was announced on March 31st, you could hear the thud of the Republican Party slamming their heads into the ground like ostriches. Now, some Republicans did say that Trump shouldn't be immune from legal scrutiny, but they also warned against a politically motivated prosecution, as New York District Attorney Alvin Bragg is doing. Now, let's face it, there's just no backbone with these Republican clowns in Congress. Now, here they are on bended knee to a guy who quickly had his team market T-shirts on the day of his indictment with a made-up mugshot along with the historical date and words in big caps, "Not guilty," and had them up for sale during his arraignment. I mean, Trump was never a guy to pass up a fast buck. The Republican Party would rather be held as willing hostages to a serial liar only because it pleases his base. Not calling out the truth about Trump today is looked at as being labeled as a traitor to the cause. Now, regarding why Republicans in Congress continue to support Trump, it's difficult to make a blanket statement, as individual motivations may vary. However, it's worth noting that political allegiance can often be strong, and some elected officials may believe that continuing to support Trump is in their best interest, even if it costs them in the 2020 and 2022 elections. I mean, it's dumb math to be sure. What's that saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Additionally, despite the controversy surrounding him, a lot of people genuinely believed in Trump's policies and messaging. Later that night, after Trump returned from New York, he held a conference at his lavish Mar-a-Lago home. He spoke to his hardened fans as the authoritarian savior, Mr. Redemption, not to mention his fascist contempt for the rule of law and democracy. Trump ranted for almost 30 minutes, regurgitating his greatest hits of his persecution, "The world is going to hell, and only he can save it." Spoken like a true adolescent juvenile who lives in his own world of reality. Now, during his speech, he spoke only of himself, no surprise there, and nothing regarding the American people. But you think about current events such as inflation, the Ukraine war, mass shootings, China and Taiwan. Nope, there was nothing to be said from Trump. To see and hear him again reciting the same insane speech from his magic bag of tricks is both ridiculous and frightening. 18 more months of the It's All About Me show with your master of ceremonies, the Big Don. When will this base ever see this clown for who he is? Call me optimistic, but I hope they will one day. Now, I wonder if Donald Trump had never been president, would this indictment look less political or weak? Just a thought. So what can we learn from this story? What's the takeaway? It never ceases to amaze me the grip Trump still has with the Republicans. Parading his victimhood only reaffirms his hold on the GOP. Could the 2024 Republican primary be over before it starts? Trump may laugh now, but the serious charges of his 2020 election interference and the classified documents he took to Mar-a-Lago are on the horizon. Never thought I'd see the day that a former president of the United States would be indicted. I guess the MAGA acronym, Make America Great Again, will need to be modified to My Ass Got Arrested. Well, there you go. That's life, I swear. For further information regarding the material covered in this episode, I invite you to visit my website, which you can find on either Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, for show notes calling out key pieces of content mentioned in the episode transcript. As always, I thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe here or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss an episode. See you soon.